So I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been being a little bit lazy in some of my more recent day trips. Just kind of getting on the train to Garmisch and doing a trail I have not yet done. But now that we have our first magical winter snow of the season, it's about time I go to an equally magical forest. And Bavaria just so happens to have a Zauberwald out near Berchtesgaden ready for us to enjoy. It should be absolutely fantastic. So let's wake up real early, get in a car, head out here and experience the Zauberwald. Anyway, so I don't know if you guys can tell right now, it might not be picked up on camera, but I got up before the sun for you today. And well, I mean, technically for me too. When you're trying to do a wintry hike, the sun just sets so early that you have to start your day equally early, as much as I hate that. Anybody familiar with the layout of Munich will know that I'm nowhere near my favorite Hauptbahnhof, and that's because we're not taking a train. Where we want to go hiking today, it's probably best to take a car. So instead, what we're doing is trying to hunt down a car to go. It should be anywhere around here. Let's go find it. So I really like using share now. I mean, I love getting rent my minis. There's so much fun on the Autobahn and all that, but you never know how much fuel you're gonna get. And the only car close to my house this morning, I was at 29%, which is pretty naff. So we're gonna have to make a quick pit stop, get some gas, check out this awesome view, and then the real benefit of taking the pit stop, I'm gonna get some McDonald's. No road trip's complete without it. So here we are in the Berchtesgaden National Park with tons of snow, so I'm super pumped. Specifically, we're right outside the very photogenic town of Ramsau, and it only took about an hour and 50 minutes to get here, which is pretty cool. Though your mileage might vary with traffic and whether or not you want to put your Mini in sport mode on the Autobahn. I'll leave that up to you. As for what we're going to do next, well, we've kind of got two options. We could start hiking the Malerweg, or the Painter's Way. We're going to be going around the Hintersee lake, just that direction. Or behind us, we can actually walk into Ramsau for what is supposed to be one of the most photogenic churches or even spots in all of Germany. I figure, let's go check that out and then we'll start our hike. Let's get going. One quick logistical note for you. The parking meter only accepts coins, like the past. Though it does, shockingly, accept an app as well, which I find to be kind of rare in Germany. And good luck too, because I do not have enough coins for the €7 a day ticket, which is a little expensive, but hey, they've kind of got the lockdown on the tourist market, so what do you expect? With all that taken care of though, let's get into town. So here we are at Germany's most beautiful spot. How is it? It's definitely not bad. However, the town definitely loses some of its charm during the Corona times because I simply don't get the opportunity to warm up with a coffee or a hot chocolate, which I'd kill for because my hands are freezing. Now, in regards to the actual picturesqueness of this site, I mean, it is beautiful, but there's not too many other spots. You know, I've actually been here once before. Back in the summer, I was going to do a video on here in Prettiest, but I chose not to do it because I didn't really feel like I had anything to add to the story or anything I could show you. And that's why I'm really excited to be back today, because now that it's all covered in beautiful snow, we get to do this, we get to take a look at this awesome view, and then we get to go on the Zauberwald hike, which it should just be awesome. One of the really cool things is that they've got like a webcam permanently pointed at this spot. so you can check out how it looks all year round, at night, at day, whenever. It actually worked out as really helpful for me as a local because, you know, you never know how the snow's gonna look, right? Well, I could just check the webcam, see what I'm getting into. So I did that yesterday, which let me know that today would be just the right amount of snow. And then lastly, it's kind of like a fun little thing that we're gonna be seeing a lot today. For hundreds of years, people have thought that this spot is just amazing. And in fact, the Zauberwald hike that we're doing today is called the Malerweg, which of course means Painter's Way. And what's really cute is that kind of stacked along this hike, they've got all these little easels with the paintings in them. So you can take a look at what other artists have found so inspirational, and perhaps you can try to recreate it yourself. Pretty cool, right? But like I said, considering there's no place for me to get a drink, we may as well move on and get doing that hike. Let's get going. All right, so here we are back at the parking lot. Technically, our trail is gonna start from here. I just wanted to take that little detour down into Ramsau. I always feel pretty terrible when it goes to these Instagram hotspots, you know, and you don't actually spend any money. That doesn't feel great to me. It feels a bit parasitic, but the town's closed and I couldn't give them money if I tried, so they'll just have to settle with my parking fee. Now, about the specific trail that we're gonna be doing. As I've mentioned, we're going to the Zauberwald, the magical forest, which I thought would be extra magical, covered in snow, and it starts just behind me. I found the route specifically on an app called All Trails. I use that for quite a lot of my hikes, actually, and I'll leave that in a link in the description below, along with putting up the map now. So there you go. Should be more than capable of doing it for yourself, though it looks like it's more than well signposted. You might not even need All Trails, but it's good for inspiration. Anyway, let's go see if it's worth it. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not ungrateful for being in such an awesome alpine wonderland, but it is such a shame that these awesome beer gardens, Wursthouses, all those little stopover points have to be closed. I understand that they do have to be, but it's still a bit of a shame, as it's just such an integral part of kind of the German alpine and outdoor experience to be able to have these little stopovers, you know, don't pack your own food, enjoy the guest houses. And it's just sad that we don't get to do that. I love seeing like the mountains through here.
Really pretty.
Like, I mean, the mountains in Garmisch are pretty good, and I think the mountains in Mittenwald are slightly better, but like...
I think these are the best that we've seen in Germany thus far.
Okay, so this is pretty crazy. We just finished walking through the Zauberwald and we're at Hintersee now, finally. And I mean, maybe this is just because I'm from the Midlands, maybe I'm just naive. I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments, but it's completely frozen over and it's only December 27th. I'm just not used to seeing this. Though, if I look off into the distance, it's not entirely frozen over. There's still plenty of water over there. Yet people have brought their sledges, their skis, their ice skates, whatever they've got with them. It's crazy. So apparently, not only will we be walking around the lake, we're gonna walk through it. Let's go check it out. Now, walking along that frozen lake was a proper first for me. And in many ways, you know, it was kind of genuinely inspirational, as silly as that might sound. But seeing everyone bringing their ice gear out and having fun with friends and family, it was just really cool. And not exactly the winter scene that I'm used to. But once I'd had my fill, it was time to start heading back along the last leg of the Zauberwald, which I haven't really spoken that much about. And that's simply because the first side that we've walked on so far, though beautiful, it definitely wasn't magical. The southerly side though, the one we're about to walk through, now that's where the forest earns its name. But instead of going on and on about it, you just need to see it for yourself. Enjoy. So now that we're back on this bridge for the second time today, you know, the keen among you will realize that that means we're pretty close to being near the car. Again, for the second time today. A lot of repeats with this one, to be honest. You know, it's a lot of there and back again hikes instead of, you know, like a loop.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts?
I thought, considering they keep calling it the Zauberwald, I thought it would be a bit bigger. But that being said, what it did have was, you know, an absolute ton of visual interest. So, you know, for what it did have, it was really good.
Yeah, there were like roots everywhere, tons of cool moss and lichen and tree stumps.
Be great for kids.
Yeah, and it was really funny because I was like reading some reviews online, and a lot of them were talking about how their kids loved it, but there was one unfortunate review, and it was like all in caps, in bold, like, do not bring your stroller, which is like, yeah.
Very true. You don't want to be bringing that. It's not that kid friendly. But, you know, saying that, I wish it was a bit bigger. There are, of course, a ton of like more expert intermediate hikes that you can do up to different summits or up through the hills. So overall, you do have a lot more options if you were to have a bigger vacation here. Yeah. It's just, I kind of thought the easy Zauberwald would be maybe twice as big. All right, so here we are. Boom. Back at the parking lot. I mean, it's been a pretty wonderful day. I think we've had a really nice chill walk. I mean, it's been in this wonderful snow, magical forest, and the pictures that we took at Ramsau were pretty cool too. However, I think now what I need to do is go get myself some food, get back in the car, drive for an hour and 50 minutes. I'll see you at home for the conclusion. Hey everybody, and welcome back to our apartment in Munich now that we've warmed up from our wintry excursion, ready to give you our recommendation. Now, I feel like we pretty much are just in agreement on this, so why don't you go ahead and take it?
Yeah, so I would recommend this trip for mostly everybody because sort of the bar to entry was non-existent. This was a very easy, very fun and accessible day trip. And it's mostly because we don't really have to invest in a lot of gear to go out here. A lot of activities out in Bavaria, you have to spend a lot of money on gear, and this one, not so much. Especially in the winter, I see a lot of people with those like those spikes on their shoes to like hike upward. You don't really have to do that here. For me, all I had to have was some winter snow boots, which I already have because we live in Munich. I had some long johns under my sweatpants, and then some really warm gloves, and obviously my winter coat, and we were good to go. So I would really recommend this for people who aren't super keen on getting out into the outdoors, but do occasionally want to experience sort of the beauty. And Berchtesgaden is one of the most beautiful places in Germany, so it's kind of a win-win. But that's sort of who I would recommend this for. I know you have some other opinions.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree with you. You don't have to get anything new that you don't already have if you're in Bavaria, ready for a little bit of a winter, even in the city. And it's just so pretty, especially that southern part of the Zauberwald. It was so awesome. Now, would I recommend for you that you do it the way we did it, you know? Would I recommend you get up early, get in a car, drive there, drive back? Well, from Munich? I don't know. I mean, I had a really, really good time, and of course with the current restrictions and the time that we're in, it's the only way to experience it. So it's definitely better than nothing. I had a great time, but you know, it's difficult to give it a full hearty recommendation at the moment. You know what I mean? Now, of course, it's going to get a lot better as things open up. You can go to the Wursthaus, you can go get a beer along the lake. It's going to become an absolutely fantastic day trip, hence why we still made the video, and it would be an excellent addition to going to near Salzburg or Königssee or any of the other things in the area. Now, if you've liked this video, if you like getting out there a little bit of an easy hike with some good views, then I want you to watch the one I did in Edinburgh back in the summer. That one is probably one of my most favorite day trips we've ever done so far. It's beautiful. You get to go see 2 castle ruins atop a wonderful hill looking out over Bavaria. It's absolutely fantastic. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. And I think it would hold up in the winter too. Other than that, guys, we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.